Hi everybody, Micheline from Miche Makes here. I'm going to do a slightly different vlog today. It's going to be a vlog that's not sewing. I was watching it on a vlog and I came across it and I thought, oh, that's rather a good idea. So I have decided that I'm going to do the same. And basically it is nothing to do with sewing, but it's just, I think you might find it a bit amusing, and I want to get your input at the end from you. Anyway, it's called Things I Wouldn't Want to Live Without. Now, I'm not talking about husbands, I'm not talking about grandchildren, I'm not talking about pets, I'm talking about things. Things that I wouldn't want to live without. And I'm going to list 12 things. It should really be 10 things I wouldn't want to live without, but there was 2 that I wanted to add because somebody actually mentioned in one of my vlogs, and I thought, you know, she's right about that. And then I thought of another one. So I'm going to tell you 12 things that I wouldn't want to live without. I'm a bit annoyed at this because I got to number 7 when I made a mistake. So, oh golly, I'm covered in cat hairs. I wasn't covered in cat hairs before. Let's get rid of this. Well, I had this little piece all done, and when I've come to uploading it, it is a section that's missing. I don't know why, but there's a section missing. So I'm going to redo this so that if there's a slight difference in scenery behind, in front, or even my face, apologies. Right, so the first, numbers 1 to 12. I'm going to do 12 things, and these are 12 things that I wouldn't want to live without. So here we go. Number 1, comfortable shoes. And the reason why I say comfortable shoes is I have apparently, according to a lot of what people have said, I have horrible feet. When I say horrible feet, I don't mean that they're horrible feet, I mean that they're different from everybody else, in the sense that when I was about 10 or 11 and I was on the beach with my friends and I took my shoes off, we were playing on the beach, one person said, "Oh, your feet are strange." And I put my feet next to theirs and I thought, well, they don't look strange to me, but apparently I have bunions. And they are inherited bunions, and because I've got inherited bunions, my big toe is slightly bent in, not right under but just slightly bent. The joint on that part is slightly bent in, and I never noticed it until somebody remarked about it. And it just made me feel conscious of this, that I had bunions. They are not caused by deformity, not by sorry, I've got hair in my face. They're not caused by wearing the wrong shoes. My mother always used to make sure that I wore the right shoes, comfortable shoes. I used to get my feet measured, but for some reason I was born with them. My mum had them, and funnily enough, his lordship has them as well. He was born with them. So well, not only do I have bunions, which somebody identified, but I also, which I didn't find out until well into my 30s, I think it was, I have flat feet. And the reason why I found out I had flat feet is because I can't run very far very fast, and I have very flat feet. And when I'm walking, although I love walking, I always feel like I'm walking in mud. And I can see why when the army recruits people, they don't recruit people with flat feet, because you cannot run very fast. It really feels uncomfortable to run. So I have bunions, I have flat feet, and I like to wear comfortable shoes. I've not been a high-heeled person. My elder sister has. She's small like me, and she always used to like to wear high heels to make herself taller. I've always worn flatties because I'm just feel, probably with having flat feet, I don't feel safe on my feet unless I've got flat shoes on. I used to wear, when I did try high heel shoes, or not so much high heel but a little bit of a heel, I'd do a Dick Henry. Now if any of you are old enough to remember Dick Henry, he used to go over on his ankle. He was a comedian. One of his characters was a lady who was dressed up all smart with the lipstick and everything, and every time she walked in a high heel she used to go over on her ankle. Well, I did the same thing, so I just decided, no, don't wear high heels, wear flat shoes. And of course I've always worn flat shoes, and whenever I've filmed myself, whenever I've taken a picture of me wearing a dress, I haven't shown you my feet, because, not because I don't want you to see them, but I want you to see the top part, the part that I've made, and not the bottom part. But one occasion I did show my shoes, and funnily enough, Jenny Flake contacted me and said, oh, I like those shoes that you've got on. Where did you get them from? So I told her. What I find with shoes is I can buy some shoes. I have lots of shoes. He keeps saying, not another pair coming through the door. But the reason is that I could buy a pair of shoes and they'll feel comfortable when I put them on. Then I'll wear them, still feel comfortable. I'll wear them a couple of times, they feel comfortable. After a week or 2 weeks, I am in pain with them because they're not soft leather, they're not comfortable, they hurt, the press on my bunion, on the joint, the press on that bent joint, my feet are flat, there's no shape to them, there's no raising of the arch, and you know, it just doesn't work for me. So those ones have to be binned. So I've finally sifted certain shoes that I like, and they are generally flat shoes. They're wide fitting ones, but they're very, very comfortable. And my favourite shop at the moment is a company called Hotter. And I'll put a picture up there to show you what I mean. I'll put a couple of pictures up to let you see what they look like. And Jenny Flake saw me in one of these shoes. She just caught a glimpse of them at the bottom of me wearing a dress or something, and she said, what are those shoes you've got? So I told her they were from Hotter, and I gave her the link to find them. And yes, I love Hotter shoes. They're a soft leather, and they are they're comfortable. I have the ones with the strap across because they always remind me of school days, because I used to wear shoes like that. A couple of years back, when Lorianne came to see me, and she was from Portland in Oregon, I was stunned to find that she was wearing a red pair of these black shoes that I had. Mine were from Red or Dead, and they were just the kind of, they were T-strapped shoes that I used to wear when I was in school. And so I was quite stunned when I saw that she had the same style pair on. I don't know, hers obviously weren't Red or Dead, I don't think, but they were very, very similar to the pair that I have. So yes, I like comfortable shoes. So number one, comfortable shoes. Number two is my phone. My phone, which I don't have with me here, is it's a very, very important tool for me. It's not just to take pictures, although that's the reason why I pick the phone that I have, is for the quality of the photographs. That is the most important thing. I couldn't care less about anything else. I want a good phone that takes good pictures, because I hate it when I see somebody who has sent us a picture, or you know, and it's all blurred and you can't see the detail in it. Especially when we get sent a picture of the grandchildren and all you can see is this blurry face. Doesn't happen very often, but I do like a good phone with a good camera. So so it's got to have a good camera. I use it for, it's my encyclopedia, because I use Wikipedia. I'm always researching stuff. When we're in the car and we might be talking about something, and his lordship and I would just maybe discussing something, and I'll say, just a minute, I'll have a look, I'll find out for you, I'll look it up, and then I can find information. And he loves it because I read it out to him as he's driving, and it's a bit like, or even the news, I'll read the news and I'll read it out loud, so it's like a newspaper to him. And we both like to, I like to use it for research. Then I also like to use it for WhatsApp, for contacting my children. I like using it for the Instagram. I like using it for emailing, for briefly checking my eBay shop, for using my accounts on it, because if I can use it, we have an accounting app and I can use that accounting app on the phone. And oh god, there's so many things. It's just like it's like a little handbag for me. It's got everything in it. I've got the calendar, I can do the dates of everybody's birthday, and I can set an alarm so it tells me 3 or 4 days in advance that it's so-and-so's birthday, so I know I've got to get a birthday card or a present or whatever. It also tells me when the refuses, we have a rotation once a fortnight. We get the refuse collection comes. 1 week it's paper, the next week is rubbish, and so I have a little alarm that tells me the night before, because the rubbish bin goes out very, very early. They're there at about 7 in the morning, and a couple of occasions we've suddenly woken up and heard them and thought, oh, we've forgotten the bins. So I set my alarm and it tells me on the night before that the rubbish is going to be collected. We need to put the bins out. It tells me my appointments. It's everything. It's my diary, it's my address book, it's my well, you name it, I use it. So number 2 is my phone. Number 3 is my car. Now my car is a little Citroen C1. It's not a very big car, it's a little red one, and I bought it. It was my father's car, and when he died I asked if I could buy it from the estate, and so I bought it from the estate, and I love driving it. It's such a small car that when I was driving along I thought it was going to roll over, and then the bonnet is so close. There's no bonnet on the front of it. I think you call it the hood in America. The bonnet is so short that I thought, oh golly, I'm going to crash into things. And I just find it so nippy. It really is. Whereas other people are struggling in their big cars to get into car parks, I can just go pew in and reverse out, and away I go. I love it. It's not automatic, and not many English cars are automatic. I love it because it's gears, and I can, you know, I just think it's great. It does have some failings though. It's only 2 doors. So when the grandchildren were tiny and I had to strap them into their baby seats at the back, I had to get through, pull the seat forward and get in. Not easy when you're my age. And the other failing, the 2 failings, what was the other one? The other one is it's not self-locking. So when I lock, I have to push the button down, then keep the handle up when I close the door. And I've got to make sure that if my passenger doesn't do it, I've got to make sure I've done it, because otherwise the door's open. And another thing is that it doesn't have electric windows. So if in hot weather, if I'm going to go somewhere and it's hot, I've got to lean over and wind that one down, and then I've got to wind this one down. So it's very archaic in some ways, and in other ways it's quite modern, because it's actually got a thing that I can plug in and play my Spotify on my phone from it. So that's modern, but the winding down windows aren't. But I love it. I really love the car. I love the size of it, and if I have to change it, I will go for something exactly the same. I also don't have to pay much tax on it, and it does 50 miles to the gallon, so I'm very happy with that. So number 3, my car. Number 4 is very similar to the phone. It's my laptop. I love my laptop. I do everything on it. I spend hours on it. I make these vlogs for you on it. I like to create unusual things on it. I love doing some photography on it. I love tweaking things with my photographs. I love doing everything with it. I do my accounts on it. I do my eBay on it. I write emails on it. I use a software package for drawing and designing, and I like using that. Just everything about the laptop I love. Or you could say computer, but I always use a laptop, and I like my laptop. Number 5. Number 5 is something I've liked all my life, and that is water. But more so sparkling water. When sparkling water came out, oh, it was so lovely. I loved the bubbles, I loved the fizz, and I like, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I like to have a bottle of sparkling water beside me, and I just have a quick swig, not too much, and it just, the bubbles really quench my thirst and make me feel refreshed. And I just like, if we go out, I do like a glass of wine, but if you ask me what would I prefer, it's got to be sparkling water. However, I'm the first to get drunk with it. Because when we're out and I have a drink, my hands start going berserk like that, and the next thing I know, my hand's gone and I'm knocked the glass over and everybody goes, ah! Because they don't want to get covered in water. So, number 5, sparkling water. Doesn't matter what sparkling water. It could be tap water with a sparkler, you know, a bit of carbon dioxide in it. I know it's not good for me. I know I shouldn't be drinking sparkling water, but I do like it. Number 6 is eye makeup. Now, all my adult life, I love our eye makeup. I love wearing eye makeup. Nothing special. I don't wear false eyelashes. I don't go too mad, but I like to have the eyeshadow. I like the eyeliner, and I like to have some mascara. I haven't got very long eyelashes, so I like to try and make them stand out a bit more. I wear kohl liner and shadow. Now, I'm not sure if this is the end of the day. I've had to come back in the end of the day. Probably it's worn off a bit, but I love having eye makeup on. I'm not bothered about the face makeup, although lately I have been wearing a bit more. I think this lockdown's made me go off upstairs and put a bit of this on, put a bit of that on, just to make myself look a bit different. It's made, and also by being retired, it's given me more chance to fuss on with my hair, with myself, with my hair, with my face. Although, as I say, I haven't been to the hairdressers, desperately need cutting. So yes, I love wearing eye makeup. I just feel that it just makes your face sparkle a bit more, and people read you by the smile in your eyes and by the way you look. And I just think that if you're going to people look at you with your eyes, and if they're going to look at you and talk to you through your eyes, I might as well put a bit of makeup on to enhance it. So number 6 is eye makeup. Number 7 is earrings. Earrings. Now, I love my earrings. I really love my earrings. And it all started, well, no, I've worn earrings a lot of years. Ever since I was about 18 or 20, I always wore earrings. Nearly always they're dangly ones, because I tend to think that they're more eye-catching. And I used to wear a few stud things, but I always liked the long ones, the dangly ones. And I just like to wear a different pair of earrings for different days. And I have hundreds of them. I really do. What I've started doing is, every time I go on holiday, I like to buy a pair of earrings. And it could, nothing expensive, just I like to have a little memento of some earrings from places. And this all started way back, oh, I can't remember when. It was when I was teaching, and I was teaching in a high school, and we took some kids to Germany, and we went to Cologne. We took them to Cologne, and we stopped in this little, we stopped in a hotel just south of Cologne in a little village, and there was only 2 shops in the village. I think one was a butcher's and one was a baker's. And we took the kids during the holiday, during their trip to Germany. We took them to Cologne to do some shopping to buy presents for their family. But being teachers, we had to kind of just monitor them. We didn't go into the shops ourselves, or if we did, it wasn't for us to buy, it was to make sure the kids were behaving themselves. One morning after breakfast, I'd had my breakfast, and the kids were all in their was still having theirs. I think I was down earlier in the hotel, and I just decided I'd have a wander around up this little village street. And I got to the baker's shop, and I looked in through the window, and on the right hand side they had some brooches on display, and I bought 2 of them. One was a wooden bird in flight, and another one was a little circular oval one that was made with female clay, and that was some birds flying on a landscape, a kind of a landscape. It was like a bronzy colour, and I loved them. And I went in, and I couldn't speak any German, and I kind of managed to, they couldn't speak English, and I managed to get them to realise I wanted 2 brooches, and I got them and went back to the hotel and took them home. And every time I looked at those brooches, I kept saying, I got those when I went to Cologne with the school. So then I started thinking, every time I go away, I'm going to buy a little something just to remind me. And it got to the stage where every time I bought something, it was always earrings, because I always wear them. So these hundreds of earrings that I've got, quite a lot of them are hung up, and they all have different stories. Some of them are things that I bought in shops locally, but there are some that I can say I bought that in France, and I bought that in Germany, and I bought that in Holland, and I bought that here. And so it's lovely. Or I bought that in Scotland, I bought that in Norfolk. So it's lovely to have these little earrings, and when you wear them, you've got a little story to tell. I also sadly have quite a few odd ones, because I've lost, you know, taking jumpers off when you're trying something on in shops. I don't realise until I've gone somewhere that I've only got 1 earring in. And I have several pairs of earrings, of favourite ones, where I only have the 1. And one in particular is what I call my Superman earrings, and my little grandson always used to ask me to put them on, because he said they look like Superman earrings. They're like a diamond, and of course you know that this is the fortress of solitude, so Superman earrings, you know, for Superman's grandmother. It's just the right thing. But anyway, I'll have to see if I can either get another one like it or make a one. I could make them. They were made out of aluminium, so I could probably sit down and try and make one. Anyway, so that is number 7, and that's earrings. Number 8. Number 8, I don't wear a lot of perfume, but I have one perfume that I really, really love, and that is Nina Ricci's L'air du Temps. There it is, picture of it. It's I like it. I think I like the birds, the way the birds are on the top, but that's not the reason why I like it. I remember years and years and years ago, my sister-in-law, when I was talking, she came to visit, and she smelled gorgeous. And I said, I said, that's lovely, what are you wearing? And she said, Nina Ricci, L'air du Temps. And so I thought, I've got to get that. And I got it, and I always use it. I've tried other perfumes, but I always go back to this one. And the nice thing about it for me, again, it's memories, is my grandchildren love the smell of it. And when I go down to see the granddaughters who live way down south in England, and I go and stop the night, I stop in the little spare bedroom. And the littlest one used to say, after I'd gone, she used to be upset when I went. And my daughter used to say, Mum, she's gone downstairs to smell your pillow because she loves the smell of the perfume. And they used to say, oh, Grandma's perfume's lovely. So I always wear the same perfume for that reason, because it's just so nice. So and I've tried other ones. I had this habit, I'm gonna kind of go to a little side thing. When I ran my shop, people used to come in, and sometimes they smelled absolutely gorgeous, and I used to say, oh, you smell lovely, what perfume have you got on? And they'd tell me, and I'd make a note, right, remember that one, and one of them was Red Door, Elizabeth Arden Red Door. I can't remember what the other ones were, but I have got that one as well. And then my sister, when I went to France, I was remarking how lovely the perfume was that my sister has. And so the next thing I knew, she went to the shop and bought some for me. And that's a lovely one. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put it up there. But there were the odd occasions where people came in and they had the most revolting perfume on. So instead of saying, oh, you smell awful, I'd say, oh, you smell nice. What perfume have you got on? And they'd say, oh, it's Poison. I can't remember who made Poison. It's Poison. And I'd say, oh, it's lovely. It's very strong, but it's lovely. And then the minute they go out the shop, I used to say, note to self, do not buy Poison. So yes, number 8 was Perfume. Number 9 is not so much the bed itself, but the dreams that I have when I go to bed, because I have the most wonderful dreams when I go to sleep. I have remarkable dreams. I'm a vivid dreamer, and when I wake up and I tell his lordship what I've dreamt about, he just can't believe it. I can't believe it, because I can't believe everything that happens in that dream. When I come to wake up and I think, I wouldn't even think of that in the daytime, never mind, you know, in my dreams. Say for example, the other day I dreamt that I was going to get on a plane, and then the plane was going along a motorway, and then it went up a steep bank past a house where this woman was being restrained by some men, and she was screaming, get me out, let me go. And I'm looking out the plane window and thinking, what the heck's going on there? And then the plane goes up this steep bank to the top of a muddy bank, not a proper runway, up a muddy bank. And then the pilot must have decided it was no good, so he starts reversing down. And as he's coming back down, I'm looking at this woman in the door, and she's saying, will somebody get me away from these people? and then it goes back, and then it starts going along here. And I'm thinking, where on earth are we going? And so it continues. This storyline is amazing. And I sometimes say to his lordship, I think when I go to sleep, I must go into a different dimension. Well, there's a van delivery. I don't know if it's for us or not. Is it for us? Is he turning around? If he's turning around, I'm going to have to leave you for a minute while I go and get the parcel. No, he's not. He's going next door. So, and I just can't believe the dreams that I have. It's as if I'm in another dimension. And I remember years and years ago, there was an American program that used to be on TV where there were two scientists. Al was the one that was in the normal world, and somebody else was in a different dimension, and he kept changing his character. And I don't know if that stuck in my head, but the minute I hit the pillow and I go to sleep, I go into this dimension. And it's all based around my old house. It's not even around here. It's all set. The setting is always around my old house, which was next door to the high school that I taught at. And the high school had an old annex, and everything is in that area. That whole old annex has suddenly become a shopping community, a hotel, an airport, everything. And so it's just unbelievable what I dream, and I just love it. And the thing is, I don't just dream in one occasion. I can wake up at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock and then go back to sleep and have a dream then. So I'm not just, they do say that you only dream when you're in a certain part of your sleep, but I dream several times throughout the night, and I just love it. Even if it's a horrible dream, I still enjoy them. So that was number 9. Number 10 is perfect fitting underwear. I hate having a bra that I'm bulging out the top. I hate having a bra where I'm bulging out the back, and I have to say this one does make me bulge out the back. I'm always on the search for perfect fitting underwear, and the bigger you get, the more you're looking for those perfect fitting underwears. I like to have a good fitting bra, which I'm sure we all do. My favourite one is Marks and Spencer's. Well, Marks and Spencer's in England has the best choice of bras, the best fitting ones in my opinion. If you've got any suggestions for good fitting bras for big women, do let me know. I would be happy to check them out and see what I think. But I also like underwear, knickers, and my knickers, I want them, if I can, I don't want them to be briefs. I want them to go up to here, to pull this in and go right up here if I can, because if I wear anything that's on the waist, they roll down, they don't feel comfortable. I do like comfortable underwear. I like comfortable knickers. I like big, who is it? Bridget Jones. I like Bridget Jones big nicks. I like them to cover everything. I don't want to keep having to pull them down over my bottom. I don't want to keep having to pull them up here. I want something that is very comfortable and very well fitting. So as I say, generally I generally find some good knickers from several sources. Most of them are Marks and Spencer's. I have found some in Tesco's and Sainsbury's. If you can recommend good fitting knickers and bras, I will happily check them out. I have just sent away for some, and I will tell you about them when they arrive. 11 and 12 are really the two that I didn't have on my list, but I felt that they are very important. Now I've got to find that they want one of the comments for one of them. My eyes are like everybody else's as you get older. There are some slight differences, not a great deal. Going for my eyes tested on Sunday morning, so I'll be able to know whether they've got worse or not. But I don't know how I could live if I couldn't do things with my hands without using my eyesight. I did a viewer of mine has told me that they are blind and that they sew, and I said, I'm amazed at how you can sew when you're blind. And she said that I think it was a she or a he, I can't remember, and they said that it was a skill that they'd learnt or they'd been shown how to do it. To be able to sew blind is an amazing feat, but I just really could not bear to think of having a life without being able to see very well. My mother developed macular degeneration, which apparently is very common in older people. Hers was because she used to smoke. I think it was dry macular. There's two versions, dry and wet, and the dry macular degeneration can't be, I think they're hoping to try and find a cure for it for the wet one, but I think the dry one is different. And she said it was getting like she was looking through trees, branches of trees at things, and I don't know how I would survive if my eyesight went like that. So number 11, my eyesight. And lastly, to go with that, is number 12, and that is my mind. I don't know how I could survive with my mind going. Well, I know I'll be able to survive because I wouldn't be looking after myself. But the thought of not being able to do things, the thought of not remembering things, the thought of getting dementia, or not so much the thought of getting dementia, but I don't know that I could cope with just sitting in a chair watching the world go by, or sitting in a chair and not doing anything. So number 12 definitely is my mind. So there you go, those are 12 things I could not do without. Now what I want to know is, put down there in that, now I think this applies if you're not watching TV. I do understand that apparently when we say click that bell and click that button to subscribe or look down here, if you're watching it on TV, I don't know if you can do that, because some people have said in other videos that you can't do that. But if you're looking on a phone or a computer, then you can go down below and you can enter little comments. You can send me comments and I will answer them. Or also, if you want information, you can find that information down below. So yes, those are 12 things that I can't do, I wouldn't like to do without. So you tell me what you wouldn't like to do without, and I shall tell everybody what you've said. If it's something that hasn't been mentioned, then your name might actually come up in a coming vlog. So everybody, I'm going to love you. And I'm going to leave you, and I'm going to catch you next time. Bye.